Hello and welcome to episode 14 of A Load of Old Bull. I'm the Bull, Tony Bullen, and I'm delighted to be joined once again by my Northern expert, John McCallum. We're going to be focusing on the Arc Northern Flat. This event has always been staged at Bellevue from 1927 to 2018. It's now found a new home. It's at Newcastle. £6,500 to the winner. 6 cracking heats on Wednesday. And what a belter, the opening heat, John.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Always a great spectacle, the open racing at Newcastle. I'm sure everybody enjoys watching open racing at Newcastle. It's a good track for open races. It's pretty fair. You need early to get round that tight first turn, but you got to get home as well, Tony.
Well, talking about early pace, Heat 1, let's just go down the runners. Track 1, Tramwell Stallion. Track 2, Ice on Fire. Track 3, King Bruno. Track 4, 10 Pin. Track 5, Levante Beach. And track 6, Glen Lara Mac. Now, you said you need early pace to win at Newcastle, John. I think there's a plethora in this heat.
It's an incredible heat. It really, really is an incredible heat. I mean, where do you start with? Obviously, King Bruno ran last week at Newcastle and absolutely torqued at the turn after a moderate enough break. So he's going to be firing to the corner, and I feel that 3 will be a better draw for him than the 5 was. 10 Pin's drawn outside that, and him himself, he'll be looking to go inside with fierce early pace, and he's got that inside him, and also you've got to mention Ice on Fire inside him, who the one thing Ice on Fire does do is tear to a corner. Levante Beach in 5, another bang early pace dog, and the bottom Glenlara Mac showing some fierce early pace in Ireland and 2 good sprint trials around Newcastle. The top Tramwell Station hit came out and won an A1 on Saturday afternoon on the bags meeting, led for the gate and showed great early pace and led all the way. So as you say, it's got some early pacing at the race.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ice on Fire must be the talking dog in this heat. I mean, returning to action, 2019 Puppy Classic winner, won the All England Cup, Eclipse, Laurels, and the Juvenile was his last race. He ended up doing a Gracilis, John. They brought him back at Nottingham like last year, I think September. He had 3 trials, and unfortunately the Gracilis bled, and they called it time on the dog, sent him to the stud. But obviously they brought him back. And what do you make of his trials? He's put up some very fast fractions in the sprints and the 4 bends.
Yeah, the Ice on Fire's he's got blinding early pace, and I used to like watching Ice on Fire. He's a type of dog that there's no many of them do it. If you watch him when he runs on Wednesday night, he actually stands in the boxes. There used to be a dog that ran at Powder Hall called Arrow House, and he did the same. He used to stand in the boxes, stand it perfectly still in the boxes, and they always trap these sort of dogs. And Ice on Fire's like that. He pings the boxes consistently. Very rarely is it a miss breaks for Ice on Fire, Tony. So I'm looking forward to see him back on track.
I think it's a massive ask, to be truthful. It's a race that I probably wouldn't bet in. It's on 10 Pins got his draw to overcome. Levante Beach, I mean, he showed brute early pace, winning the Northern Puppy Derby in 2019, reached the Yarmouth Derby final. But as far as the selection goes for me, I'm going to be with 10 Pin to overcome the hazard. I mean, he ran an absolute blinder from an unpromising position at Central Park the other night. And first look round Newcastle, if you're doing 28-22, you're certainly running the track, John.
Yeah, and he's done 28-22, Tony, off a 468 sectional, which if you look at Ice on Fire sectional, Ice on Fire's a 1.5 quicker to the winning line first time up than 10 Pin. So any likely improvement, and he's liable to go in about a 28-10. But the draw is just, as you say, you couldn't actually have a bet in the race. But I'm going to be with you. I'm going to go with 10 Pin. But I think it's one just to watch.
Yeah, well, let's just recap on some anti-post prices for this heat. Then Tramwell Stallion is 100-1, Ice on Fire 6-1, King Bruno 40-1, 10 Pin 6-1, Levante Beach 16-1, and Glen Lara Mac, the Easter Cup semi-finalist, 14-1. Right, moving on to Heat 2. I'll give the runners and the anti-post prices this time around. Track 1, Paradise Prince 33-1, Hope's Doggy 33-1. Havana Class 6-1, Jumeirah Liberty 33-1, Ardralla Jim 40-1, and Clark Kloss Paymer 125 to 1. Obviously, I mean, the first heat, John, we've seen brute early pace. Well, Havana Class showed brute early pace to win that big competition, the Laurels at Perry Bar, and Connections must have been delighted with his performance first look round in a trial stake.
Definitely. He's broken 450 for a sectional first look at Newcastle, which is phenomenal. And he's run at Perry Bar when he done the 345 sectional. That was pretty breathtaking, Tony. The one thing I thought might be Havana Class's undoing is he favours the rail big time and wants to get onto the rail. But he's one of these dogs that never misses a kick, usually. So he can overcome tricky draws. Even if you're a complete paint scraper, you can overcome the draws if you start. And he's certainly got the early pace to do it. He could be a proper dog like. You know what? I don't think we've seen the best of this dog yet. I really like him.
Yeah, I looked at his Irish car. I think he won both races at Fells. He's never finished out at 3, so he could be an ideal competition dog. I think he's got the right 2 dogs on his immediate inside. He should, with a level start, be able to tack across to the inside. The biggest danger I felt was Paradise Prince. Nathan Hunt had this dog. He only won one race, 575 at Romford, but I think the switch to Gary Ferguson has just this fella's just started to show signs that he's ready to put in a big run. Yeah,
he ran good last week, Donny. His problem's boxing, His problem is boxing. He's one of these dogs that just never seems to trap. And the one box at Newcastle's notoriously hard to ping from, but he does stay on quite well and could certainly run on it in a place in this heat, like Tony, The other dog of interest I like is, I bet the last time, massive prices on the machine when it ran at Perry Bar, Ardrala Jim. And I think I said to you before, it was something ridiculous, like 26 to 1 or something.
Yeah, I remember,
I bet, and I got picked up. But it's got plenty pace as well. It's an interesting heat, but Havana Class is certainly the standout in the heat.
Yeah, I'm going to be with Havana Class to beat Paradise Prince. I think that the unfamiliar draw, bang on the rails, will help Paradise Prince. I don't think it'll be a hindrance. I think 5 might just find Jumeirah Liberty a little bit of an obstacle. The Oaks semi-finalists ran the first couple of bends, but if 3 gets bingo break, I think 1 will run on through beaten rivals in any case. Moving on to heat 3.
Just before you leave that, Tony, that run at Perry Bar by Havana Class, there's a few runs during the year that stick in your mind and stick with you. And I thought that run at Perry Bar, where the dog done the 345 sectional, I thought that was a really special run. Like, I was very impressed.
Yeah, it was, and he produced it in the final as well. That was the thing. I didn't personally think the dog could trap as well as he did on that occasion, but he managed to do so and went on to win the final. But another interesting heat coming up in heat 3. Track 1, Nadura Dutch, 12 to 1. Track 2, Ashbank Megan, 66 to 1. Track 3, Potent Touch, 33 to 1. Track 4, Frankie's Jet, 25 to 1. Track 5, Lightfoot Dodd, 125 to 1. And track 6, Droopy's Backup at 50 to 1. Obviously, Nadura Dutch, John, another dog returning from a lengthy absence, but he's a veteran, but he's not got a lot of mileage on the clock, and those trials suggest that he's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, he's there with every chance, and I think the draw's pretty good for it in the red. The Pup in 3, I like it. I like the Pup in 3, Potent Touch. It was an Ian Greaves bred dog, I think. I think it's a Swift dog. They changed the name of it. And it done it right one night at Newcastle, pinged the lids, 447 sectional. And I think I spoke to you after and I said, it looks a really, really handy pup. But since then, it's just been missing a kick a wee bit. But I think the 3 box could start. If it starts, I think it clears the inside too, and it's there with a big chance. He'll be looking over its shoulder where Frankie's Jet turns, because it's got early, but that stays on as well, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know what niggles at Nadura Dutch has had, but he's had a stop-start career.
Yeah,
2019 All England Cup finalist, and Laurels. He made an early exit from the Laurels last year, so he's clearly had his issues. But that layoff suggests that Connections have got to the bottom of him, and he's got to be a contender here. But he's a difficult dog to be backing. I don't think he's going to be a big price in this heat. Yeah. I'm going to be with Frankie's Jet, who's been a model of consistency. Been a little bit unfortunate to have not won more than the 3 races from 15 starts, John. So Frankie's Jet for me, and keep an eye on Droopy's Backup, who again, he's another dog that's had a few issues, but he really picks up from halfway, and he's got a confidence-boosting win under his belt. How do you see this one, John?
Yeah, Droopy's back up, got his head in front there last week. Dog's got bags and bags of pace, but tends to leave his races in the traps, doesn't he? But if he's on the premise at the third corner, he's there with every chance. But I'm going to go at a price. I like a price. I'm going to go with Potent Touch to get off the front here, and a bit more improvement for him on the front. He could take the beating, and probably Frankie's Jet, and I'll probably go with Droopy's backup running on at the third, Tony.
Right, moving on to Heat 4, Track 1, Clark Dakota, 125 to 1. Track 2, Save Me Paddy, 40 to 1. Track 3, Look Like Power, 20 to 1. Track 4, Glenvale Gav, 100 to 1. Track 5, Derby's Ranger, 25 to 1. And track 6 is Pacemaker Ted, who is 12 to 1. Now, at first glance, John, I thought connections of Pacemaker Ted will be delighted with the draw on both counts, and he's been running well in success and defeat, and I thought he was going to take the world of beating in this particular heat.
He's got a great makeup, Tony. Only wide runner in the race, and 5 probably favours more the sort of 3 line rather than the 5 line. So he's going to get his own way down to the corner. His problem can be a bit hit and miss at the boxes, though. If it was to do the boxes right, then I'd be all over him. But that's a chance you're going to take, and at the prices likely on offer in the heat, are you willing to take a short enough price about Pacemaker Ted, who sometimes doesn't always do the boxes? I would be looking more inside, and I'd be looking at the 2 dog. It's an interesting runner, it's trialled well around Newcastle. I know it's the half brother at one on Thurles on Saturday night. It's actually for sale on data, and we've not seen the best of this dog yet, this Save Me Paddy. I think it's guaranteed to lead the red up. And one thing about Save Me Paddy is it's a bang paint scraper, so it should get onto the rail, Tony. And probably worth taking a chance with to get on the rail in first run at the likely prices, Tony.
Yeah, certainly an unknown quantity. One that isn't an unknown quantity is Track 3, Look Like Power, model of consistency. Ran a creditable race, still sticks in my mind because I backed him. He looked like he was going to overhaul of Ante Beach in that Northern Puppy Derby, but tend to just lug in. They've done it quite, I think, the 3 times they met. It was the same race. They just sort of come together on the running. I
think he switched. He sort of came off the Ben Wide and then switched inside going to the line, Tony, every time he ran against Levante Beach, and that probably cost him the race. But as you say, he's done that a couple of times. But he's one that's sure to be running into a qualifying position.
And Derby's Ranger, obviously Olympic finalist, having first start for Carl Jackson's, moved well in trials. But I'm going to put up one, could be a massive price and flying the ointment, is Glenvale Gav. This dog won 2 Derby trial stakes at Nottingham last year, beating Distant Village in the process. So you're beating dogs like that. You can run, and I think he'll come on a bundle for his 2 races following the layoff. He wasn't disgraced behind Killy Phantom. Now, admittedly, he has got a little bit to find on the clock based on that, but if he's double digits, I'll be certainly keeping one eye on the exchanges to see if he is worth a play at a big price.
Yeah, it was. What we'll say is it wasn't the strongest open that he was beaten in, but I've watched it a few times, and as you say, he done a lot of running in that heat. So at the likely prices, I wouldn't put you off a wee play on him. Aye, yep.
Right. Moving on to Heat 5, we've got Track 1, Glory Killara, 16 to 1. Track 2, Killy Phantom, 25 to 1. Track 3, Mingler's Popeye, 40 to 1. Track 4, Clark Kloss Mo, 100 to 1. Track 5, Barron's Court, 66 to 1. And track 6 is Kawasaki Edward, also trading at 66 to 1. Now, obviously, the Mingler's Popeye dog, John, had a good Irish card. I think Gold Cup finalist at Shelbourne in February. Didn't quite happen for him on debut, but this dog can run.
I think it's a better than night, Tony. I really fancy Mingler's Popeye. I think he's guaranteed to get off the front here. He's in the white box, the pink box. I think he'll go around in front. We could see maybe a time at this dog. He ran against Freedom Whammy there 2 weeks ago, and he didn't run that badly. He was drawn in 5 and definitely wanted inside. He darted inside going to the corner. I think this is an ideal draw for him. And looking at the heat, it's not the strongest of heats in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I can see him getting off the front here and doing the time. I really fancy Mingler's Popeye.
Yeah, well, interesting. I mean, you've got to make him a run. I wasn't quite as confident as you. In fact, I didn't go for 3 to win this heat. I was with trap 1, Glory Kalara. I thought 2, Killy Phantom. He added to that sole success. Both of his wins have been at Newcastle. He ran in a maiden event October last year, but some of his best runs have been at Newcastle. I thought he's a little bit of a kidder, as you say. The Adralla gym dog, he give him a couple of bites of the cherry to catch him last week, but I thought Glory Kalara had a great draw on the inside. Ran okay in an event at Sunderland, but Sunderland wouldn't necessarily be this dog's track, and I think that Glory Kalara could get a lovely posse on the inside, and I can see where you're coming from. Mingler's Popeye brings his Irish form to the track. He's hit a heat where he should showcase his skills, but I'll be with Glory Kalara over Mingler's Popeye in this particular heat, John.
Yeah, if you look back at Mingler's Popeye, he ran in the Irish and Ledger at Limerick, which is a long run to the corner there, isn't it? So that was the reason probably for them putting him in that. I noticed he got put out in the semi-final. I think he led to show his early pace. I think this heat here is ideal. I think if he starts at all, he'll definitely get off the front. And if he gets off the front, I see him winning, Tony.
Right.
Quite sweet on him.
That's heat 5, John. Very sweet on Popeye. Let's hope he's had his spinach. But moving on to heat 6. Trap 1, Betty's Book, 12 to 1. Trap 2, Jaguar Macy, 6 to 1. Trap 3, Pinpoint Villa, 33 to 1. Trap 4, Nice as Ice, 50 to 1. Trap 5 is Hardy Rebel, 33 to 1. And trap 6 is Clos Diego, 150 to 1. Well, there's no doubt who's going to be a short price favourite. Jaguar Macy, Monmore Puppy Derby winner, Northern Puppy Derby winner. Didn't quite happen for her in the RPG TV Juvenile, John, but it's hard to oppose her.
As I say, Tony, horses for courses. And Jaguar Macy first come to fruition when it won an open round Newcastle. It ran the track like a dream. And through the Northern Puppy Derby, she was immense. This is her track. She's got the 2 box, which is probably ideal, I would thought. Graham Rankin took her to Toaster. Don't think she suited the track. I think his son Daniel said that on television. He went public and said they didn't think he'd be going back to Toaster with Jaguar Macy, which is understandable. But Newcastle's certainly Jaguar Macy's track. And she starts here, she gets off the front and she wins.
Are you concerned Betty's Book drawn on immediate inside? I mean, fluffed the lines in the Juvenile at Toaster. No look round is an obvious concern, but she's really thrived at Nottingham this bitch.
She has, but the one box at Newcastle, without a look's a hard box to trap out of. I see Macy coming out and leading it all the way here, Tony. She'll not be a price she can play it, but I think she'll comfortably win the heat.
Just to mention a couple of the others, Pinpoint Villa obviously contested, ran against the likes of Doolin, Duke, Newing, Sessions and Pastana in Ireland. Made a winning debut in A1 in December. Hasn't really tracked in the same fashion, John.
Yeah, his game's about being out the front, and he's, as you say, he's not really pinged yet against Pacemaker Ted or against Look Like Power. But with a ping break in him, he's got Macy inside him. It's hard to see him leading Macy, and if he doesn't lead Macy, he could maybe struggle to qualify, Tony.
And the other runner has to be Hardy Rebel, flanked by moderate starters. Puppy maiden Derby finalist behind Roxo Molaf last year. He's really found his home now. I really think this dog's found his ideal venue. And 4 and 6 lack early, inside crowding, Hardy Rebel could probably have every chance of adding another win to his tally, John.
Yeah, I think he has. He's a mid 450 splitter, Tony. So, and he's pretty consistent with his mid 450 splits. So if it was to start out, he's got the ideal dog inside him, Nice as Ice, that wouldn't have as much early as Hardy Rebel. So he could go around in front if Macy was to miss it. But Macy starting, Macy wins. Macy not starting, Hardy Rebel's definitely a player.
Right, well, there's your 6 heats that we've gone over. Now, outright time, John. I see the locals have got 50% of the 36 runner field. There's 7 wide. So I'm going to kick off because I know you'll go a little bit more in depth with your selection. I'm with Pacemaker Ted, and on the basis that there are only 7 wides, most of which lack a yard of early. As much as you say Pacemaker Ted is the best off the front, I don't feel that the dog is necessarily a one-trick pony. And if the draw does work out in his favour, I think he's got every chance of getting to the final. And we all know when you're in a final, anything can happen on the night. I was hoping for a little bit better price, but Pacemaker Ted is the Bullen's anti-post selection. What's the McCallums?
I'm going to be with a dog that is run at Perry Bar. Really made me sit up and take notice. Havana Class. The dog's got fierce early pace, and as I said to you before, he does like the rail, but with his consistency at the boxes, he's one of these dogs that can constantly cheat the draw in competitions. If he gets 3-4, you can see him popping out and getting across the rail. Some of his sectionals have been 447. First look at Newcastle's just incredible, and the 345 at Perry Bar's top notch. I'm going to be with Havana Class. The market's a shake up because of that first heat, Tony. You know what I'm saying? It's you've got 3 or 4 dogs there that'll be fancy to win the competition. They've all been drawn together. So if you're out with that heat, suddenly there's maybe a wee bit of value there, because that first heat, looking at it, goodness me, you know, it could be the final itself.
Yeah, I mean, if he was connected to one of the dogs, it's a bit of a concern going into the boxes, because that is brute in traps 1 to 6. It's just brute.
It's incredible.
Pace, but
it'll be some spectacle, like.
Yeah, it's really fascinating for us as a pundit and a viewer, but you can imagine Connection's hearts will be pounding as soon as that hair is on the move. Obviously, you fancy Mingler's Popeye quite strong, John. 40-1, not big anti-post?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that would be the way the each way money would go, without a shadow of a doubt, Tony. That dog can only improve coming on. He's not had a lot of running over here. You would have to go each way, Mingler's Popeye and Havana Class to win it outright. That'd be the 2 ways to play it. But it's a good competition. There's some good dogs in it, and I'm really looking forward to watching it.
Well, thanks very much. Thanks for joining me once again, John. Always great to have your insight. Let's keep an eye on those anti-post selections. But you've been listening to a load of old ball. It's the Northern Flat, £6,500 to the winner. Kicks off at Newcastle on Wednesday night. May the best dog win. It's going to be a roller coaster ride for sure. And don't forget, episode 15 will be fast approaching. So join us then for another load of old ball.